going now?
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm going.
Okay, ready? We'll just count it down.
3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, Hurricane Liz here, and today we thought we'd take a little bit of a different approach and actually introduce you guys to one of my team members. And the real important thing about this particular team member is he started from scratch selling on Amazon, and he started by selling his very first product. So what I want you guys to do is get accustomed to him, get used to him, because right now the area of Amazon that he's specializing in, I really don't have too much experience, so he's going to show you some tips and tricks along the way, and you'll see him regularly on my channel. So I want to make a quick introduction to him and talk a little bit about how he started selling on Amazon. And I think it's really important that you guys get to understand the way he got started, because it was literally with very little to no money, and it's still a way that works extremely effectively on Amazon. And a lot of people underutilize this way, and they don't actually start with this way because it's not the sexiest thing in the world. But I'll tell you this much, with all the stuff that he's done, he's been able to acquire not only just the experience of doing it, he got my attention to start paying attention to what he was doing, and he also now has pretty much every single skill set required to start his very own product if he wanted to, and really hit the ground running with what he's learned. So I want to welcome you guys to who we like to call in the office as Hollywood. And Hollywood, let everybody know a little bit more about your story and your background and how sort of you got introduced to me and how you just basically hit the ground running and just took action on what I said, even though a lot of people were like, this is not the sexiest way to make money on Amazon. So tell everybody a little bit about that. Sweet.
Thanks, Liz, for letting me get this opportunity to talk. So I started out in California. Actually, I had this moment where I was really like depressed because I was not meeting my expectations. I really wanted to make money, and just all of a sudden I realized I wasn't where I wanted to be in the life. So I joined Liz's Spec Ops program through OMG, and it was actually a week before I was going to college. So literally a week before I was about to go to college, I all of a sudden had a huge amount of knowledge and like content I had to absorb. But I did it. In like 2 to 5 days, I like watched like 80% of her webinars as I was also preparing for college. And then I got to college, and then I started implementing it. So I got the boxes, I got the labels, I got the tools. I started just looking for products to source. I did a combination of retail arbitrage and bundling. In Liz's webinar, she talks a lot about seasonality. And so Halloween was coming up, and Halloween's fun. And she was saying how that's like one of her favorite times to do. One of her favorite holidays. Okay, I'm going to do some Halloween products. So I did the classic bundle. I did paper plates, cups, and like utensils or something. I looked at other competitors and their images, because that's one of the most important things on your listing. And I was gluing up stuff to my wall, and I just took a little picture with my iPhone because I didn't like have a DSLR yet. And I did it, and I put it up, and they sold out. And then I was like, okay, this is working. And so in the span of about a month or two, I tried about 7 different listings, and they all ended up selling out. The niches I focused on were Halloween and Thanksgiving. And while I was doing all this, I knew I'd acquired this belief that if I wanted to be successful, to accelerate my success, I would need to find someone else who's doing it, and get as close to them as possible. And so Liz. So I started reaching out to Liz because I knew if I wanted to sell on Amazon, if I wanted to make more money and get where I wanted in life, I mean, she's already doing it. So why not work for her? Why not reach out to her and absorb what she's done and what she knows? So I was reaching out to her while I was doing the listings, and I was having success, and I was getting some attention from her a little bit. And I was also reaching out to Josh. That's a good tip too. If you want to really find a mentor, reach out to their friends. I learned it from a Will Smith movie. He's like trying to help this guy out a date, and he says, if you want to get a girl to like you, be really good friends with the girl's friend, because then the friend will reference you to the girl, and we have rapport and stuff. So I was reaching out to Josh, and I was reaching out to Liz, and then so I got some attention from Liz while I was just messaging her, but then Josh mentioned me to her, and then she was like, oh wow, Justin, I need to maybe look into something more with him. And then what really got her attention, though, is I had a lot of success with a Thanksgiving bundle. It was tabletop decorations with like a turkey in the middle and like little playmates. Really simple. But I was looking at Amazon. I saw all these items were selling really well separately. So like, okay, well, I'll put them together. So harder for people to hijack because it's a bundle. And I did it. They sold out. It was like my best product because there was a lot of margin. I had some good ideas with the positioning of the images. Once again, images really important. And that got Liz's attention because in the group I posted, I could use some feedback on this, like, oh wow, this looks good. And so just by constantly asking, by constantly doing what she says, and really taking a lot of action, because it wasn't easy for me. Like, I'd never been an entrepreneur. I think I'd always wanted to sell and make money, but I'd never ever taken action on it. So all of a sudden I'm taking all this action, absorbing all this knowledge, and learning about all these other entrepreneurs. So it was painful, but somehow I pushed through it and got Liz's attention, and now I get to work for her full time. And like she says, I'm learning all kinds of skills. And what I'm doing right now is I'm learning how to sell t-shirts because merch is going to be huge, just like Amazon in general. Jeff Bezos' book, Everything Story, talks about how the internet is still so young, and Amazon has only been around for 20 years. I don't think Amazon is going anywhere. I think it's actually going to just keep exploding, especially while Jeff Bezos is still the CEO. And so I want to get on this merch train while I can and prepare for once I'm able to sell. Right now there's a waiting list, and I'll make a video showing you guys how to sign up for one. It's taking a long time to get on the waiting list, like 6 to 8 months. But once you're in it, they're not just going to be doing t-shirts. They're going to be doing all kinds of accessories. So that's my area I'm going to be focusing on because I want to add another income stream for Liz and for myself. And look forward to some of those videos in the future.
Awesome. Now, the one thing that stood out for me, Hollywood, is that Josh is going to want to kick your butt. I can totally see Josh wanting to kick your ass because you just said the key to getting to Liz is Josh. And now I know that Josh is going to not be too happy to be bombarded because he's already a very busy kid. But now on top of that, you kind of...
Maybe I set him up a little bit.
Yeah, so Josh
Sorry, Josh.
Beat you down. But that's all right. That's all right because that doesn't involve me. I'm not going to get beat down. But the second key thing that I really wanted to ask you is I know along the way you're 22 years old, 22. You've got family, you got friends, you've got a lot of people out there that could potentially, they never heard you saying you wanted to be an entrepreneur, they never heard you saying you wanted to make your own money. So along the way, did you ever have any naysayers that were kind of like, this is, why are you doing this? In fact, I do remember the one funny story that you told me, and you could probably share this with everybody, but after you'd already actually you offered to work for me for free, which was kind of like, that was kind of cool, but at the same time I kind of felt bad. So I was like, well, you're not going to make you do stuff for free, but just the fact that you offered it, so I don't want anybody out there to get any wise guy or wise girl ideas and start messaging me and saying, we'll do it for free because, I've got a soft side, but it's not going to work anymore. It was a one-time thing that worked. But you sent me a message and then you did a bunch of work, and then I think it was your mom that said, could you tell everybody a little bit more about that story? I don't want to ruin it.
What was it? So my mom was concerned, right? Or
that where I was going to pay you, or if I was just working you.
Well, one, trying to get over my own fears of being an entrepreneur and reaching out to Liz, like fear of rejection and stuff. But then my mom's she loves me and stuff. She's like, is she going to pay you? You can do all this work? Is she for real? Is she a scam? Is she going to kidnap you or something? It's seriously. So that kind of hurt at first because I'm having to overcome my mom's fear, but at the same time it made me stronger because now I was able to overcome my own fears and the fears of my parents. And about the naysayers, I've never really been surrounded by too many. I had a few really good people that have been entrepreneurial, but for most of my life I've been not around entrepreneurs. So my parents kind of knew my income and knew how much money I had because especially when I was going to school, because they were actually paying for my college. I had a full ride GI Bill. My dad's in the Air Force, and so they knew how much money. And all of a sudden, they started seeing me spending thousands of dollars on Liz's program and spending money on sourcing. And they're like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be saving this for a car." Or
are you selling drugs?
Are you selling drugs? No, Mom, not. But I knew this is what I wanted, and I had to overcome what my parents wanted for me and what other people wanted for me in order to get what I wanted for me.
We're fantastic. And as you guys can see, I got a little cheat sheet because sometimes I don't remember that well. So I know how to sell on Amazon. I just don't know how to conduct an interview very well. So let me ask you 2 more questions that come out to my sheet, not my mind. But how are you just able to take action and start? Because I know a lot of people are so stuck in this. They have to continually keep learning and learning, and they're sort of afraid to take that first step and just do it. And so they get stuck in this cycle of learning. But how did you actually get past that and just reach out there and start?
Well, that's something I've especially been, that the cool thing about being around Liz is you just gain a lot of her behaviors and beliefs. And one of them she's taught me is you need to be learning, but you need to be taking more action than you are learning. Because if you just learn it, you're going to forget a lot of it anyways. And you really only understand something like once you're actually doing it. So as far as getting started, the thing that I could say that might help people is really feel the pain of not doing it. Like really feel, what does this cost me if I do not start, if I do not push through, if I do not make this happen? Even if it's painful, what happens 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What does my life look like if I don't start my own business, if I don't become my own boss? And then think about the pleasure. What happens if you do this 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What does this matter for your family, for your kids, for your friendships, for all the people you want to help and the people you want to provide for? So I think if you can focus on the pain of not doing it and the pleasure of doing it if you do, I think that's going to help a lot. For me, I wasn't that intentional about it because I didn't really know a lot about that stuff, but definitely it was just I really wanted it, and just not doing was more painful than doing it because I knew time is limited. I don't have forever, and if I don't do this now, like when am I going to do it?
Right, good points. So one last question for you. Any recommendations for the people out there watching? What would you recommend they start? How do they start? How do they just go out there and do it just like you did?
Do everything that Liz says, first of all. So get on, watch her YouTube channel. We're going to be providing more content there. Get into OMG if you can. That's where all her training is. If you have no money, retail arbitrage, that's how Liz started. She just started selling stuff from her garage. You can go to garage sales. I'm sure there's a little bit amount of money you can whip up and then start building capital with that. Once you get some more money, I'd suggest doing bundling. So mixing 2 or 3 items from different stores ideally, so it's harder to hijack, and just doing that. And then definitely sign up for merch. It's free. I think that's going to be the best thing for people. The reason right now it's a little slow is because they have so much demand. It's what's taking so long. So I'd suggest getting on the waiting list now so you don't have to wait later. But once merch is up and running for everyone, there's no inventory, technically no cost because you can make the designs your own on Photoshop. Just get Photoshop, look up something on YouTube. Heck, you probably don't even need Photoshop. There's probably other design tools for free. And you're going to have no inventory, no cost, no fulfillment. It's all going to be done through Amazon. The only thing you'll have to do is provide a design. And so that's why I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. So that's great advice from Hollywood. You guys will be seeing him a lot more. As I said before, he's going to provide you guys training videos for merch and some tips along the way. But the one thing that I really like that he just said, one of my favorite ways to start off is bundling, because at the end of the day, you can still create, it's almost like faux private labeling. So it's like almost having your own private label product, but it's not really private label, but it could become one. And again, we'll cover that more in the particular channel. And just 2 more things that I wanted to point out that he said. Anytime that I want to do something personally in my life, I think of 2 key things. Number 1 is, if I don't do this, am I going to regret it in the long run? And typically, if my answer is yes, then I just get out there and do it. And it could be something as stupid as this video. Like, actually doing this video can sort of be a pain in the ass, like to me, because not only do I have to get out of my comfort zone having to do this video, I've got to iron my shirt. You guys don't see that because I'm a pajama millionaire at the end of the day, and I like to just be casual and just like laying around in my pajamas on my computer. That's at the end of the day what I like to do, but it makes me get out of my comfort zone. But I say to myself, at some point later on down my life, am I going to regret not having put this content out there and try to help somebody? Because at the end of the day, 24/7 here in this office, we sell on Amazon. So if you're going to learn from anybody, it might as well be somebody that's doing it right now. Not someone that did it in the past and had a shit ton of success, but someone that is still doing it right now and plans to doing it going forward. And the second thing that I wanted to point out that JT did not mention is the fact that I like to do this. I like to sell on Amazon. It's a big thing, but at the end of the day, every single morning, I don't want to be average. That's my biggest fear, is being average. So the reason that I take action every single day is because of the fact that I don't want to be an average person. I don't know about you guys, but that certainly is my biggest fear. And that's the number one reason why I do things like get uncomfortable on video just to bring you guys this content. And I have to hold my cheat sheet up because I can't even fucking remember what I have to ask. And at the end of the day, it doesn't come down to how smart you are. It comes down to how much action you actually take and then how you improve upon your mistakes. But let me know if you guys like this actual piece of content, and we'll continue to do more. And let me know what you'd like to find out from Hollywood here, and he'll do his best to help you out with that. He's got a tremendous amount of skill sets now. We've done things with affiliate marketing, ClickFunnels, building funnels, emailing, all sorts of things. I can't even remember all of them, but he also is a video guy, so he can help you guys with tips on that and taking pictures. Let me know what you want to hear from him. Put a post below, and he or I will answer them, and then we will see you guys in the next video. Thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, take care, guys. Bye.